Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome back for another episode. This is Frank Agin, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections. Welcome to the program. It's great that you're here. It's great that you might be subscribed. If not, please consider doing so. It'd be wonderful if you would refer us on to other people. Something happened to me the other day. Something happens to me every day, by the way. But I thought this was unique. Somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn. Again, that's not terribly unusual, but we had kind of an exchange. And I asked the person, I said, who would you like me to introduce you to? Who would you like me to introduce you to? And if you've listened to Matt Ward, who's been on this program a number of times, and will be on again here shortly. He's got a new book coming out. But if you've listened to this program, we talk about introductions. And Matt Ward, I guess back to Matt Ward, he's a proponent of, don't ask for referrals, ask for introductions. Continue to connect yourself to the people who aren't necessarily going to do business with you, but will be the ones who will refer business to you. And that's just kind of a mindset with respect to referrals. So I asked this person, in that spirit, I asked this particular person I was having this LinkedIn exchange with, who could I introduce you to? Who would be a good contact for you? And the person's response was somewhat comical, but the response was, I don't need to be introduced to anybody. Just send me clients, more or less. The person went on to describe, people could use my service. It wasn't that quick, but it was. She basically described people who could be clients. Don't introduce me to people. Don't waste my time with introductions. Send me people with money in their hand. And I haven't followed up with the particular person to say, yeah, you're kind of missing the point here with respect to networking, and that I don't necessarily know people who know what you're looking for, but I know people who might, and, I can't be doing the work for you and going to the people who might and just, hounding them for potential introductions for you. You need to do the heavy lifting, the fun lifting. It's really the fun lifting of talking to people and getting to know them. And you can't expect, networking is not about going out and finding people to do business with you, finding clients. It's about finding people who ultimately connect you to those people. Kind of a play on words, maybe. Some people don't see that, but that's neither here nor there. That's how I look at it. So that got me thinking about introductions, and I've done a number of programs on introductions, and I will continue to do a number of programs on introductions. Introductions are really what fuel our networking. Again, back to Matt Ward, don't ask for referrals, don't ask for the client, ask for introductions to people who might know the people who could be your client, is in essence what he says. And to be perfectly honest, it's spot on. So at any rate, this entire exchange with this person really got me thinking about all the different kinds of introductions that are out there, and some are good and some are bad, and I wanted to kind of profile the ones I have kind of outlined, the different classifications, and just offer some commentary on introductions. I don't know if this is an exhaustive list. For fun, I titled this particular episode, or will title it, 50 Shades of Introduction. I don't have 50. I probably don't even have 10, but just kind of a cute little name, that there really are lots of different types of introductions. And much of this is my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree with my opinion. That's fine. I guess I'm somewhat of an expert because I spend a lot of time doing this, but a lot of it is, for the most part, just my conjectures. A lot of times I'll bring in science, and I think that carries a little more weight than just someone's opinion, but right now this is where we're at. I haven't found a study on this. So let me just kind of first make some commentary with respect to making introductions. The first thing, this is my opinion, but don't use somebody to set up your calls. If you want to meet somebody, don't, reach out to them. Send them an email. I'd love to have a conversation with you. In this day of technology, get yourself a Candly app or something similar, and you can fire that out to somebody. I'm not trying to make people unemployed. Your assistant doesn't need to be doing those things. But to be perfectly honest, when somebody reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I'm trying to schedule a call for essentially my boss," it bothers me. It's almost as if I'm beneath them. And again, just my opinion. Maybe it's my own head trash with respect to that. It rubs me the wrong way, to be perfectly honest. If they want to talk to me, have them reach out to me, and we'll arrange a call. I don't want to be here in the middle, going back and forth with respect to calendars. I can send my Calendly app out to you, and if you want to send that on to your assistant, then that's fine. But having me engage with your subordinate, it just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe that's just a personal thing. Here's even a bigger pet peeve. Somebody reached out to me, said they wanted to talk, wanted to meet me, wanted to, just kind of get acquainted. Great. I'm all about that. And I'll touch on that in a minute. Totally about that. Sent them my link, and then they scheduled somebody else in their place, which I thought was really underhanded, and I canceled the call. I just said I didn't know, I have no idea who I'm going to be on the call with. They just scheduled with somebody's first name. I have no idea who this person is. I have no idea really what we're talking about. I've been deceived once. I'm not interested. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is people scheduling and then making last minute changes. I say that, and I had to do one today. I did. I literally had to do one today. I know it happens. I felt horrible about it. I hope other people feel horrible about it. But I guess to my credit, I gave the person 72 hours for the change. Notified. I'm recording this on a Monday. I notified them on Friday when I first found out that there was something that had come up. I've got a series of people that I need to meet with. The only time we could do it was during that time. I'm trying to be flexible. Gave them 16 other times during the course of the day. 72 hours notice. When I'm talking about last minute changes, I'm talking about sitting ready to hit connect on Zoom and getting an email from somebody saying I can't do the call. When that happens, it's bad form, because you can't schedule another call. I mean, yeah, I can continue to work and it's not wasted time, but I only can do so many calls in a week or in a day, and I generally cap out at the number of calls over the course of a week. And so when somebody cancels, it's like, okay, somebody else could have had that time, and oh, wait a minute, you want to schedule another time in another week or later this week, and block somebody else out. It rubs me the wrong way. And I get it, things come up, but it's just, those are things that tend to bother me. But anyhow, different shades of introductions. I'll have introductions to people where I'm being asked to sell. Hey, Frank, this person's really interested in AmSpirit Business Connections. Would you talk to them about it? That's me getting on the phone, selling them about it, or selling them on the franchise opportunity. I'm using the word selling in very loose terms. This is about as pitchy as I get with respect to AmSpirit. People want to be a part of it. Hey, it's here. I'll tell you all the things we do, but I don't really sell it, so to speak. The other type of introduction is where I'm being introduced to somebody because they're going to be selling me. And I'm okay with that if it's something that I need. I'm looking for somebody to help me with this particular aspect of my business. I'm looking for a payroll service. Hey, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who does that. Or I'm looking for somebody to, do some landscaping. Oh, okay. Here, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. I never have a problem being introduced to somebody when I'm looking to buy. I don't want to be introduced to somebody when they're just looking to sell to me, and we'll talk on that. The other type of introduction out there is where you're being introduced to somebody, and this doesn't happen often, but you're being introduced to somebody and they're there to help you. I'm here to help you. I believe in what you're doing. I'm here to help you. You've done a lot for other people. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. Those things happen. They do. I've had those calls. I've had those contacts with people who just, they really, they're not interested in anything. They just believe in what you've done and are appreciative of what you've done for other people and are going to take the time to help others. And maybe we need to all be like that a little bit from time to time. But that's just another sort of introduction. They don't happen often. I think you've really got to kind of pay your dues for those things to happen, but they do happen. The other type of introduction are introductions where you're just calling to get acquainted. Bob meets Sally, Sally meets Bob. I think the two of you, should get to know each other. There's no real agenda here. I think you run in similar circles. You talk to similar people. Maybe there's something that could come from this. And the next type of introduction is where you're getting on a call. It's similar to the get acquainted one, but it's a little more purposeful, and that's where you're getting together with somebody and really trying to dig into how you can help each other. You're the accountant, I'm the attorney. Let's sit and let's figure out how we can mutually benefit one another. And that's probably an easy example, but I'll talk with coaches and consultants who do unique things and want to be on a call with me and figure out how we can help one another. And those are useful calls too. I try to be guarded with my time and guarded with the introductions that I take on. A lot of times I'll ask people to kind of share with me what they're about on the front end. I'll share about myself. I have a 2 or 3, well, actually it's a 3 or 4 line paragraph summarizing who I am. It's basically taking my LinkedIn profile and pulling it all down to 3 or 4 lines. Maybe it's a little longer than that, but there are links there and they can dig in and learn about me. And I'm not expecting them to be as eloquent, but I would like some sort of understanding as to what they're about. And the only reason I say that is sometimes people are introduced to me and they think I'm an attorney. Well, I used to be an attorney. I'm not an attorney now. I just want people to understand that on the front end so they don't get on the call with me and they're disappointed that I'm not what they thought I might be. And then you start getting into calls or introductions where you're being introduced to somebody solely because the somebody needs help. And I know that sounds bad on the surface. We're here to help one another. We should be here to help one another. And I try to subscribe to that with certain exceptions. And I'm going to kind of go that, but the other type of introduction is where you're being introduced to somebody. Frank, I want to introduce you to Mary. She runs this particular charity. She needs some help. She could use your help. She could use some guidance from you. So it really kind of falls under 3 different headings. One, if somebody's being introduced to me and they need help, I'm generally willing to help out if it's for a social good. Mary Jenkins with the COC, she raises money to help people who have financial struggles while they're battling cancer. That's a social good. And Mary's not a great example because I've known her for a while, but being introduced to something like that, great. I generally will refer people to, at least inform people of the Charitable Roundtable, and that's a great jumping off point for them to get help from me. But if it's social good, then I'm okay with being introduced to somebody who needs help for a social good. I'm totally okay with that. The second type of introduction to somebody looking to get, where I'm okay with it, is where somebody's a newbie. And what I mean is a newbie. Hey, listen, I just graduated and I just need some help. I need some help understanding, how to find a job, how to get networked. Listen, we've all been there. I saw it firsthand. I saw it with my daughter trying to, graduating in 2020 and trying to figure out finding a job, and praise God, she found a dream job, and life is good, and she worked hard to get it. And I, she had me in her ear a lot of the way, just saying you need to do these things. Here's how you need to get yourself networked. You just need to talk to people. And I'm happy to provide 15, 20 minutes to somebody out there, similar situation. I'm just getting started in business. What kind of advice do you have for me? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with giving. I'm teaching them how to fish. I'm not giving them fish, and I think that's the difference. That's I guess a clarification on that. The one looking to get introduction that I'm not a big fan of is, hey, I want to introduce you to so and so. They need help, and then there's this narrative about how they've got this business and they're really at the high six figures and they want to get it to seven figures. Can you help them? I'm not inclined to do that. Now I don't want to be hired per se. I think there's people out there that do those sorts of things. I don't want to be distracted from my role with AmSpirit Business Connections. Yeah, I get it. There's probably money there. I could probably make money. But you have to ask yourself at some point, where do you want to make money? Not all money is good money. Some money will distract you from your bigger mission in life, and you have to understand that. When I was a young attorney practicing law, I didn't want to do divorce work. Yeah, I could make money doing it, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with divorce or criminal or DUI. It's just not where my heart was, and so not all money is good money. But when somebody's coming at me and they're looking for assistance in growing their business, or I've had law firms reach out to me, can you come on in, can you talk to the attorneys, teach them how they can get networked and make more money? I'm just hesitant to do that. Yeah, I'm about trying to help other people, but I just think that's an overreach with somebody asking. In fact, in those situations, I've reached out and said, okay, well, what's the budget? I've been paid to be a professional speaker. I don't actively do it. But here's a situation where you're looking for me to help you with your people bring in thousands of dollars to the firm. It seems only fair if you see value in what I'm doing that you pay for that value. That's the American way. That's the business way. And often then people balk at that. They're looking for something for free, and which is great because it's a nice exit. But I don't really appreciate those sorts of introductions. It kind of puts you in a bad situation. Either you say yes, and it's really there's really no upside to it. Let's put it that way. There's no upside to doing free work like that. It just leads to more free work like that. You feed a stray cat, you just end up with more stray cats. And so there's no upside to saying yes, and there's no upside to saying down or saying no either. The downside, you feel bad. It's hard to tell somebody no. Well, it's not hard. It's you feel bad doing it. I just have this compulsion. I should be helping people. But I have to recognize that I only have so many hours in the day, and then if I reach out to this law firm or whomever and provide this free service, that it's taking time away from me helping, Mary Jenkins or other people who have charitable endeavors out there, or just helping the newbie, or helping the people who are looking to help me. You need to be strategic about it. And Adam Grant talks about this in his book Give and Take, and that you need to there's givers, there's takers, and then there's matchers. But of the givers, there are people who are selfless givers, meaning they'll just give to anybody. Oh, law firm, you want me to come down? Sure, I'll do it. Everybody pat me on the back. I feel good about myself. So there are selfless givers, and then there are otherish givers, and I will try to be an otherish giver, somebody who is strategic about what they're doing. Strategic in the sense that I'm not. It's not quid pro quo. I don't need something back, but there needs to be something there for somebody. There needs to be a greater good for what I'm doing, other than somebody some business is going to be a bigger business as a result of it. So just some thoughts on, my 50 shades of introductions. And again, there's probably, I don't know, 7 maybe. So it's not 50, but there are lots of different types of introductions. You just keep them in mind. To wrap up, we're looking for people to become part of AmSpirit Business Connections, become owners within AmSpirit Business Connections. We help small businesses and professionals connect to the people, information, and opportunities that are going to help them become more successful. It's through a special program, a membership-based program, and we're looking for franchisees to help us implement that all around the country. So if you're interested in talking about that, reach out to me. My email's in the show notes, or you can introduce me to somebody. This is a good introduction. Would be a good introduction. It would be kind of a mutual giving and getting, or somebody looking to purchase. But email me or email them and copy me on the email. Would be great. Would appreciate that effort.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connections. All rights reserved.